How's it going, everybody? I am CityZilla, and we are playing City Skylines. And in this episode, we are going to be working on our highway networks. Our city is getting pretty big, and we are starting to face a couple challenges. Mainly, we're just still having our current highway network is kind of centralized around downtown, which is really great for downtown, but it's kind of causing some issues around the city in terms of traffic and local traffic using the arterials for longer distances than had initially been planned. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a toll road around this outside lane, and what it's going to do is provide a ton of access for this huge neighborhood back here to get over to this area, or if they worked over in this industrial area. But it's also going to provide a nice little shortcut for any industrial traffic maybe going through the city, or any dummy traffic that's going through the city. And so I think it's a good idea. And I kind of want to take a second to look around at this city. It has came a long ways, and I like how it turned out. There's a couple things that I wish we had done a little differently, but that's kind of with the game. You place things and then you kind of look at it afterwards and you're like, man, I could have done that better. But that's kind of how the game is, and that's what makes it fun. Is every city you do, you get to kind of learn from the last city and learn and grow and have fun and kind of just build from there. And so let's go ahead and dive in. First off, we are deleting this road all the way back here, and so we kind of had a couple issues with this freeway interchange. We have this exit right here, and so we need to do something to either get rid of this exit or to maybe incorporate it into an interchange. And so I kind of been playing around with a few ideas, and the idea that I had came up with is doing a split double trumpet interchange, and it's really interesting. I have never seen one in real life, but today I actually drove on one in Massachusetts. It's on the 495 and the 90, and it's interesting. The main purpose of it is to push the interchange to the backside. And it's kind of so if you look at this one, this is a full 5 level full stack interchange. It's huge, massive. Like if this were in real life, this would be like miles wide. It's a behemoth. And in a lot of ways, it actually impedes the city from growing in certain ways. And it's kind of an eyesore to a lot of people. And so there is a lot of pushback for big interchanges. They do help the city, but then they also bring in a lot of noise and then a lot of concrete, and they generally are really large. And so that's kind of what I wanted to consider when doing this interchange. And so what we're gonna do is do the split double trumpet, but we're gonna put it on this backside by these train tracks so that the interchange is actually farther from the city, so there'd be less noise, but then it's still pretty functional. There are a few things that I'm going to go over that I don't like, and it's actually from my experience driving in them. There's a couple areas where you have to weave, and I was trying to figure out a way to kind of solve it, but there's really we'll just go over it when I after we lay it down. It does end up working out really well, and so I'm going to go ahead and dive in. All right, so I think this is what I was going for. And so it's super funny. I've been building this over the last couple days, and I have since driven through another one. And so my opinion on this type of interchange is now changed even more, tilted towards it being really ineffective. I just recently drove through one just outside of New York City, in New Jersey. It's across the Hudson over in Newark, and it's funny, they had added a toll booth onto this little in between road. And so, a couple of the huge benefits for this, and the reason why I decided to do this interchange is so, say you had like a large body of water right here, or say you had some city and you have two intersecting highways, and you really just need to create space separated from it, from these two areas, instead of having it right here. Like, say you can't have an interchange right where they intersect. Well, this type of interchange works really well, and I think to improve it, what I would have probably done is just doing some flyovers instead. Had we done some flyovers and then maybe some more dedicated lanes, because the big issue with this is these merging lanes, and this is where, like the one in Massachusetts that I had driven, they had actually put down these solid lines, and I went in and painted in the um, intersection marking tool, and it's kind of funny. I guess I had forgotten these because I want to put these in as solid, because basically these outside lanes are supposed to be dedicated lanes, and so in the middle here these people would actually be committed. So this person who is on the outside of this lane would be going straight through, and then these people would be going straight through, and the alternative was for me to actually create a separate road, but I decided that it was just easier if I did it on one. And so you still do have this merge in the middle, and so I'm going to set these ones to yield the two that are entering in away from the trumpets, coming straight off the freeway. So technically, these two roads are going to have priority over it, but it this is where in real life it was just a mess. I mean, I did not enjoy it. When I was in Massachusetts, I was in this lane, and I had never driven through one of these, and there was a sign, and it said, if you need to get onto this freeway, to be in this right lane. And of course I missed it, and so next thing you know, I'm like right here, and it's a double solid, and I need to be over here. Well, there's like a couple semis, and I had to cut across like four lanes because this was going way the like wrong direction. And I was like, this is going to be a huge mess. And it was like a snap decision I ended up having to make, and it was kind of unsafe. And so I was like, man, that's really a big issue with this. And then when we were in New York, it was a similar issue, but the problem was the toll road. I mean, it was just a terrible location. And given this middle section was quite a bit bigger, so it'd be probably comparable to us putting one of the trumpets there and then the other one there, and then having a huge road in the middle and then putting the toll on there. That's just the problem is these merging lanes. And so and they're all over the northeastern United States. Cloverleafs, trumpet interchanges, and then split trumpets. And so I think I'm going to be doing some videos diving into some more interchanges in the future, because I definitely think there's some huge areas of opportunity, especially with the trumpets, because flyovers are definitely more effective. And that's why I had gone back and re-changed the name on my interchange build for this. This is the most efficient interchange that you can buy, or that you can build in the game and also in real life. These flyovers decrease braking to the point where more cars can get through this interchange than any other interchange. And that's the issue with these trumpets, is these turns cause you to brake. These are really sharp turns a lot, and especially for semis and stuff, it's like 25 miles per hour. I'm not sure the conversion for kilometers, but it's really slow. And so it doesn't lend to keeping the traffic going as quickly as possible. And that's why this interchange right here, I'd initially intended this to be a trumpet, but I turned it into two fly unders because these are faster. Having these roads like this with just the bank, and you would even grade it a little bit to the side, like bank it, so that the cars didn't have to slow down as much. Is that most of the traffic that's going to end up coming through here is going to be choosing this dedicated lane right here, this solid lane. And I'm going to go through on the intersection marking tool and change these ones again. I think maybe it's just this last one's it. So maybe I'll just change it real quick. Yeah, there you go. And so what I'm hoping is that most of the traffic is going to choose this inner lane and just change directions. And you can already see a bunch of these cars, like they're not having to merge up here. They're literally just staying in that lane. And so as long as we don't have people taking this middle lane and then merging up there, going in this lane and then going changing lanes to the right, like that truck just did. But yeah, see, I mean, it seems to be working, and so we'll just have to play around with it. What I do want to do though before we end the video is create our toll road, and so what I'm going to use is just a normal highway road. I'm going to do two-way 3 lanes on each side, and then we're actually going to choose this as an anchor point because this is going to be one of the main reasons why we come this direction, and so I don't know why it's not snapping. Come on, there you go. I think it's because I was just too far away. Yeah, so we're going to come up here, and I think we're going to actually start laying down the foundation to build out this area, and so we're going to probably get rid of this. That's why I didn't create an off-ramp right here. We're going to end up getting rid of this and probably extending the highway out that way. But I think for right now, what we're going to do, just for the sake of this video, is, man, of course. You know, it's always like right when you get it, you just end up snapping at the last second. All right, so I think this is exactly what I was hoping for, and so this is a double trumpet. And again, I kind of wish we had done it a little differently. I think we'll just throw up some basic landscaping real quick. I'm just gonna go with trees in the area, so we're going to stick with the comfers. I really like them; they blend in well. And I'm just going to put in a little bit of trees in the middle of these, so they help to kind of create a sound barrier and create a little bit of a space as well. I like it when I see freeways that are landscaped, or at least have trees. In a lot of places, you just have a lot of trees, so you would have no reason to really place landscaping down and just waste state money, but some instances. just did some light landscaping, put a little bit of foliage in the middle with some trees, and then I decided to do kind of some big rocks here. I thought it was a good opportunity. Yeah, I don't like to pass up on those opportunities, especially in an area like this. The city just spent a ton of money like moving this entire freeway, shifting this freeway over, and then creating this huge interchange, and then creating this new toll road, which is great. We are going to set the toll all the way up, and the reason why we're creating this as a toll road is because a lot of cars are going to be using this as a cut through, and then it would help to kind of fund the road so that we could keep it maintained. But then it also creates this whole new area, and we definitely have some issues that we're going to have to work on here. Not enough workers. I was kind of thinking about maybe even expanding our port here. I think that this was a real minimalistic approach to this port, and it kind of would have been nice to be able to expand it out. And because we do have more water right here, it kind of makes more sense. Like if we were to grade out this whole coastline, but we'll worry about that later. I think we're going to be starting a new series here soon as well, because I think the city's kind of getting big, and I know a lot of my newer viewers, it's like 40 episodes deep, and so it'd be a little easier to just start from a new series. And so I think we will be starting one here soon, and so make sure to look out for that. Let me know in the comments what you think of the new interchange, and we'll kind of see how it works as it begins to get more traffic. But right now it seems to be working out pretty well. I think by putting in those dedicated lanes, it's definitely the way to do it. Had we done just single lanes, then we would have had much more merging than we do now. And then I did go through and I went through and created dedicated off ramps for pretty much every lane. I didn't go through here and prevent lane switching because I wanted people to still be able to run through, and I felt like if they were already on this far lane, that it was going to be the shortest path anyways, and so the computer wasn't going to force them to lane shift anyways. And so yeah, I think this looks pretty good, and I will catch you on the next episode. Thank you for watching.